Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program first, in the Northern California Bay Area, world's famous juggler, Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
Man, I am fantastic, Ozzy. Got my sweet Quick Stop jersey with the good old 37. So, yeah, life's fantastic.
Excellent.
How about yourself, Ozzy?
I'll get to that in a second. Flesh Wound producer Todd, how are you?
I'm doing just great.
Okay, fantastic. All right, now, before we get started with this review of the 1986 Robin Williams comedy Club Paradise, just a couple of things I needed to touch bases on. I just had to share these because if somebody else is going through the same, I can't be the only person that's experiencing these same things. First, just real quick, Starbucks, right? Now, here's a funny thing that's amusing, like ordering online with Starbucks, is that you order online enough times, the baristas get to know you, right? So when you just walk in, they grab your drink, right? And they hand it to you. Now, if they know you and there's the service element, Greg, we've spent how many countless years at Disneyland. So service, we know, right? So if somebody sees me, like if barista sees me and just goes and gets my drink, that tells me they know who I am. I don't need to tell them, hey, mobile order for Ozzy. They know I'm Ozzy, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? Here's what's weird is that it's just getting the drink and putting it on the counter with a, there you go, look on the face. Like, it's, if you don't want to like say hi, pretend not to know my name. Then doesn't stand out as awkward because all you're doing is just saying, yeah, we know you. Here, just go. Is that too much?
To be fair, I do that to Ozzy too.
Maybe they listen to the show and they're like, we want to piss him off. We want to be on a rant of V. Maybe that's,
and success. Congratulations. Now moving on. Now, I live down the street from the Starbucks. That's one I constantly frequent. On the other side of the street, you have El Pollo Loco, right? And this just happened today. And here's what's so amusing is that as these things was happening, I thought, like, man, it's going to be fun to talk about. And then I jump on here today, like in our little pre-show where I jump on right before we start recording. And Todd's like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I mean quiet. I mean completely quiet because I didn't need to go off on what I was going to go on because I knew I was going to have this moment. Todd even said he was nervous because, like, sometimes you need to warm up. And I was like, I don't need to warm up today. Except I said a lot quieter then because I had it for now. Here's the real annoying thing. And, I mean, with technology, you have apps, mobile ordering. So, what?
No, I know where you're going. Go ahead.
I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Well, okay, let's see.
I will see.
So at 5:18 p.m., I place an order for El Pollo Loco, and it was going to be ready at 5:24. Fantastic. I roll up at 5:21. I go in the parking lot, and I wait inside. It's like, well, it's still a few minutes till 5:24. There's a couple of people ordering in line. They order. It wasn't just them ordering. It was, of course, those types of orders where you could be seeing this in a TV show where the lady asks, I want a BRC and a large drink. And the cashier asks, do you want to make it a combo? What's in the combo? Behind the cashier is a giant sign that tells you what's in a combo. You had time to look at the sign. We're waiting for the person in front of you to order who was ordering when I walked in. What were you looking at this entire time? And then for some reason, the guy behind her kept staring at me for some reason as I was just waiting, chilling for my online order, whatever. He places his order and he places an order as though the cashier is 20 feet away from him. He's yelling his order in. And I can see through peripheral vision of the restaurant, I can see everybody just raise their heads and just look over at this dude. It's like, yeah, I'll take a pollo bowl and a Coke. I'm not exaggerating. It's like, what show am I on? This isn't real, right? So then whatever. And normally, whenever I multiple times ordered El Pollo Loco and I walk in, they usually have a bag at least prepared that they put the stuff in. I didn't see a bag. So it was already like 5:23. So I went to cashier. Nobody was there. I said, hey, listen, I got a mobile order for Ozzy. Like, oh, they're working on it. And like, was it complicated? No. It was 2 sides of pinto beans and 3 pieces of chicken, which, by the way, at the risk of sounding extremely stereotypical, I love pinto beans. Moving on.
I heard that right yesterday.
No, you just heard the pinto bean part. But this was just fresh today. Right, exactly. They're still working on it. They're still working on it, right? And I'm waiting, and then all of a sudden, 424. It's the lady that didn't know what was in a combo. Goes up, picks up her order, heads out the door. 425. It's the dude who yelled out his order, went to go pick up his thing, whatever. I'm looking at my watch. It's like 5:30 at this point. It's like, and I still have yet to see a bag on the counter. What? So I'm curious how much longer this is going to take. And then I finally see her put the bag out and then like put the meal or whatever. 15 minutes after I put in the order is when I get the food, right? Now, here's what's extremely frustrating. And oh my gosh, everything's just linking into one thing or after another, right? I get home and my plan is I'm going to watch these 2 episodes of Beavis and Butthead before we start recording. That's going to be awesome, right? Yeah, why not? So I jump on Paramount Plus. I got to do it on my phone because I can't get an app on my TV for it because for some reason Paramount Plus wants to spend all this money on content but doesn't even want to spend however much money to just get an app on a TV or a PlayStation or a Roku or whatever the hell like every other decent app out. What, Todd?
No, there's an app for Roku. There's an app for Prime. They just don't work. The Roku is actually the best.
That's what I'm getting into right now. It took me it took 20 minutes to finally get the phone working. Okay, so here's the funny thing is that the app was working on my phone fine. It was when I was casting it to the TV did it start acting wonky because that's my only way to put it on TV is to cast it from your phone. So because I spent so much time working on this thing, and then in the middle of the episode, that's the worst part, during one of the videos, I get a little message at the top of the screen that says AirPlay stopped, and then I got to do the whole thing over again. And then what's funny is I jumped on, one of the first thing you asked was, so did you guys see the first 2 episodes of Beavis and Butthead? That was the first thing you asked, and that's just happened to me after the stupid El Pollo Loco. What the hell? Holy Toledo. So that's how I'm doing.
Well, you should definitely watch the second one.
Yeah, it's good.
No, yeah, I plan to. Once we're done here.
You didn't pull the plug and get the Amazon Paramount Plus gimmick, did you?
No, I didn't because when it first happened, when it first came out, I just got the Paramount Plus thing. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to cancel the normal Paramount Plus thing and then do Paramount Plus through the Prime so I can see on my TV.
Which PlayStation do you have?
The 5.
And there's no Paramount Plus?
No, there's not because they're stupid. Greg, am I wrong?
I don't believe there's a Paramount Plus.
Oh,
yeah, because they're stupid.
Well,
they're as stupid as thinking a bathroom is an escape room. To those that have seen the first episode. By the time this episode airs of Club Paradise, it'll be August 8th. That's a couple of days to watch these, at least the first episode. If you haven't, I know that I just went off on Paramount Plus, but still, the Beavis and Butthead content is worth it. Yeah. So, I mean, you heard the review of the movie, the universe that we talked about earlier.
That's right.
The episodes are definitely hitting them hard. I haven't seen the second one, as you know why now. But Greg and Todd can attest that it's definitely worth watching, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I was not as impressed with the first episode. But the second episode, I really enjoyed.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to change the topic of the episode. We are reviewing Club Paradise Day. Of course, we can talk about Beavis and Butthead another day.
I will say one good thing about Paramount Plus. They release the crap that they shouldn't release. So that's always a good thing.
They release the crap that they should not release.
Unlike HBO Max.
They release the stuff that they should not release.
It's making fun of
It's got to be your bull.
What? Now I'm confused.
That was a Tommy Boy reference, but we haven't reviewed that. Speaking of what we're reviewing, today we're reviewing and discussing Club Paradise, which was released on July 11th, 1986, with a runtime of 96 minutes, rated PG-13. Todd, do you have the trailer available?
I do.
This summer, make your escape to Club Paradise.
I say let's go. All right, we're going.
Just getting there is half the fun.
I made it! Remind me to get a new pilot.
So join your host, Robin Williams.
Oh, boy.
I'm Island Jack.
And what island are you from?
Ellis, originally.
With Peter O'Toole, Rick Moranis, Jimmy Cliff, Twiggy, Adolph Caesar, Eugene Levy, and Joanna Cassidy. You'll enjoy luxurious accommodation.
We're still ironing out the bugs.
Well, I think you'll find most of the bugs in my room.
Soak up the scenery.
They said that you weren't fit to sleep with pigs, but I stood up for you.
What'd you say?
I said you were.
All right.
Take up challenging new activities. Or for a change of pace, discover a private world all by yourself.
Anybody help me?
Club Paradise, where civilization ends
Limbo time!
and excitement begins.
Am I going to be able to take a decent shower?
I'm on the case.
It's the vacation you'll never forget, no matter how hard you try.
Club Paradise, sweet paradise.
That was the trailer for Club Paradise, starring Robin Williams, Peter O'Toole, Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy, and directed by Harold Ramis, written by, actually, the story was by Harry Shearer, Tom Leopold, Chris Miller, while the screenplay was by Harold Ramis and Brian Doyle Murray, who in the film played the wealthy hotel owner. Also, in Wayne's World is Noah Vanderhoff. More familiar face there. But initial thoughts, I had never seen this movie before. I never even heard of it, to be honest. Todd was the one that brought it up, and I'm glad it did get brought up. This was it's almost deceiving to see Robin Williams, on the poster. You're thinking, okay, this is a Robin Williams movie, but it's definitely more of an ensemble piece than a one-star driven comedy. Greg?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. It's one of those things where I, again, never heard of it, and I was confused how I never heard of a movie that, I mean, like you said, Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy, and of course Robin Williams, but Andrea Martin as well. Fantastic role. I'm glad this got brought up. It was definitely a fun watch. And yeah, it's surprising it went under the radar for so long.
Todd.
Yeah, it's funny because like you're looking at it with a different perspective. When this came out, Robin Williams wasn't really Robin Williams. I mean, this is right before Good Morning Vietnam, when he really became what we know now. And Best of Times, I think, was about to come out, or they came out at the same time, which would have been like his first like leading. I've also, like, I brought it up because I'd never seen it, so this was also first time for me. So I don't really have any history with it other than seeing the cover. I may have saw like 10 minutes on cable back in the day.
It wasn't. Yeah, I saw this in the theater.
Yeah.
No, I would have been 10.
Although, can I say,
I could have.
How terrible? I mean, I think the name Adolph Caesar was probably the worst name ever. I feel bad. I didn't get the actor's birth date, but if it was before, I would know it, because he seemed okay. So this was released 1986. I would hope that I don't want to speculate any further.
Maybe he thought he'd kill it as an actor that way.
He was born in 1933.
His parents named him Adolf in 1933.
Yes. What year was that?
That's awkward. I would have changed my name.
Now, is that a stage name? That would be even worse. Means he thought, what would be an improvement?
You know what? He must be like, now they pulled a Clerks team. Now we're taking it back.
That's right.
Also, one minor role, Joe Flaherty as the pilot. And Greg, what's funny, you mentioned Andrea Martin as well. Now, Andrea Martin and Joe Flaherty were actually called in by Martin Short in Inner Space. Just to go to that movie real quick. I know we haven't reviewed it, and hopefully it'll be down the line. But there was a particular scene in that movie when dialogue just wasn't working with the actors that they casted. So Martin Short asked Joe Dante, could he bring in two people from Second City? I'm sorry, SCTV.
That's Second City.
I apologize. Do the scene with them, and it was Joe Flaherty and Andrea Martin that he did the scene with. So I see them here, and I started thinking to myself, okay, I think at the time, the scene of everybody discovering Club Paradise through a pamphlet, or them calling each other like, you see this club, we should go. I imagine in the theater that must have been like just like cult pops, because they're all on sketch comedy, or not all, but it just kind of felt like that's what it was set up as.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Funniest thing. I also, sorry, one more last thing on Adolf Caesar's character. He played the prime minister. His name was Solomon Grundy, which is just one letter off from the Batman villain. I just had to point that out, as obviously. Now, the line mentioned in the trailer, "What island are you from?" Ellis originally. That hit me pretty hard because I wasn't expecting it. And that must have been such an awesome set to be on, by the way. Funniest had to have been, I believe, when it was Brian Doyle Murray's line, and he's at the casino, and someone hits on an 18 and gets 3 and gets the 21. Guy leaves, tells the dealer he's fired. He says, "I'm fired? No, you're not fired. Not your fault. Thank you, sir." "Well, now you're fired." Lost everything. My head almost popped off my shoulders. Greg?
Man, this was a tough one and there's two moments that kind of happen really close to one another. So I feel like the second one got a bigger reaction because I had already, when you start building the laughter, it gets contagious after a bit. But I think I'm going to just have to go with that shower scene. It was so over the top and unnecessary, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
Well,
Todd?
I'm glad I had a backup. Like everything Eugene and Rick did was gold. But I'm gonna pick one. It involves them, but it's not the line they say. It's Joe Flaherty when they're like, "Oh, Miami will never make it." He throws the bag of weed out the window. Ah, Jesus, that got me. I
was
felt
the
bad
ugliest bag of weed, by the way. Let's just
1986.
So, yeah. But the other one that I just have to mention, Robin Williams, his thing about how he told a young man to wear one glove. I just want to leave it at that, so that those who've not seen it get to have the joy of that bit.
Yes,
God,
absolutely.
I lost it.
And that also features reggae musician Jimmy Cliff in one of the leading roles. So if that's your thing, it's funny. When we were watching the trailer, I watched you guys to see you react. You both weren't reacting. I thought you guys were just gonna hate this movie.
Oh,
no, I was still calming down from my rants.
Okay.
Yeah. Props on the ending. 17 stars. But one honorable mention line that hit me really hard was, "I'm going back to Chicago where it's safe." So getting into the ratings, I had too much fun with this and gave 100% 5 from me. Easily, hands down. Greg?
You're going to get yelled at if you don't give it a perfect score.
I'm not. No. Listen, no, I'm not actually.
Okay.
I can understand how someone would not have that 5 level of a time. So I'm not going to get crazy.
I mean,
as if you have a stupid reason for it. Yeah, I'm going to get mad. But,
all right. the beginning of it was just like, I mean, I get the little bit of it of why it was needed to get him to the island. I did feel it was a little unnecessary and weird. But because it then just kind of jumped into him at the island. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. And it took me a little while to get on board and kind of feel out what the movie was, you know? I'm still going to give it a 4.5, you know, like, I think it's a fantastic movie, had a lot of great bits. I do have to say there was that moment where it felt a little dated. You know, you have those moments in movies when he was like, there are a couple of mo's. And I was like, oh, I'm laughing, but I feel like I shouldn't. But it's a solid 4.5. It was definitely a fun movie.
Well, I'm going to get yelled at.
What are you giving it, a 2?
No, I'm a 3.5. I do like it, but the parts you mentioned at the beginning, I have a good time with it, and I'll watch it again. But I wasn't in love with it, so I'm giving it a 3.5. It's not a horrible score, Ozzy. So don't yell at me.
I would have at least expected a 4.
It's this one. It kind of
because you said you'd watch it again.
I would, but I'm not not next year, not soon. But if someone wanted to watch it,
I'll watch it again, not next year. Do you plan your movies out 365 days ahead of time? Like, oh yeah, I'll watch that again within the next year.
Well, no. There's certain
or do you have a
movies
reset button that just resets every 365 days?
There's certain movies I watch certain times a year. Like Summer School, I'll watch every year.
Okay, so you won't watch this next summer.
But probably not. This is one that
summer 2024.
But this feels like one that someone would have to be like, hey, you want to watch Club Paradise? I'm like, all right. It wouldn't be one I don't see myself being like, I got to go through Club Paradise on.
Yeah, you wouldn't decline it.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're not going to establish the initiative.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Club Paradise. Now, Club Paradise, check it out. Todd, is it available via streaming anywhere?
It is streaming. I know it's available on digital.
As always, you can get it for probably $18.99.
I know it was on HBO Max, but with all the changes, I'm going to confirm it.
And by the way, it is currently August 6th. So as of August 6th,
it's not
it is not available streaming anywhere. So it's only available digitally, but I would recommend a buy.
You can get a cheap DVD too. I think we just got a Blu-ray also.
There you go.
It.
Yeah, or you could rent it on Vudu or wherever you rent movies.
See, here's what's funny. Okay, actually, no, that makes sense. Never mind. I take back what I just said. Now, Todd, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do we still have a T-shirt available?
You know what? We might.
We might still have the shirt available?
We do.
So if somebody goes to teespring.com/
Flesh Wound
Thank
Features.
you. Teespring.com/stores/Flesh Wound Features dashes between Flesh Features.
Just go to www.fleshwoundfeatures.com.
Yeah, I don't have fleshwoundfeatures.com.
Why did I say www?
I don't know, because you're like somebody from the 90s.
No, it's like I was telling my grandma how to get on the web.
Apparently.
Like www.
No, if it was your grandma, you have to say HTTP.
You're right.
/
All
right.
It's like me trying to tell Dan, I guess. That's probably better.
And Greg is, of course, modeling the Farce Line shirt, which you are available to purchase for your own enjoyment. And hopefully when you purchase it and it says expected date of arrival, I'll just throw out August 28th, that it's not going to be El Pollo Loco style and come in October 15th. So that was Club Paradise. Check it out. We'll be back next week with the new episode, and we are going to have a live episode coming up at the end of the month. So be sure to check out patreon.com. If you are a Patreon member, you get to vote on what film we will be reviewing and discussing. Todd, you haven't released those choices yet out, have you?
No.
Okay. But they'll be up there soon.
Yes.
Soon-ish.
Yes.
Before the end of the month. Well, I mean,
absolutely.
It's got to be there has to be time for us to actually watch the film. So it'll be out in ample time.
Yes.
Keep checking back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else before we head out for the week? I'll take
Yeah.
that as a no from both of you. Both listening to the
Good
audio
evening.
version, they just shook their heads. So I just gotta make sure you guys understand that, and it doesn't look like sound like that I'm just interrupting them. But now I do have clearance to end this program, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining. That was Flesh Wound producer Todd, world famous juggler Greg Larson. I'm Ozzy V. See you next week right here on Flesh Wound Farce.